Hey Patriots, welcome to Patriot Life with Candace Keller. I'm glad to see you back again for our third installment with author of Freedom's Nightmare, Harald Zieger. I love the title of this book, by the way. This is a great title. Harald Zieger wrote this, and it is out of print, but it will be back. He's working on a revised version, but I did find this at a rather high price, but it was totally worth it. On Amazon, I did find that, and I bought that. I want to remind you that please visit our website, patriotamerica76.com. We have a lot of gear there for sale that we use to keep our program going and our Patriot America educating going on around the state of Ohio and throughout the country. We're leaving for Tulsa in the middle of August. We'll be gone for a while out there doing a seminar, and I'm excited about that. Also, if you want to email me at patriotamerica76@gmail.com. And have I said everything I'm supposed to say? I think I got everything in there. Don't forget our motto, enough tyranny, enough talk, get involved, get educated, or get out of the way. That's the goal of Patriot America. I'm very excited to have Harald with me today because we're going to talk today about, I want to ask you, one of the things I wanted to ask you, Harald, was, I'm assuming that your time since you left communism, how old were you when you left, when you got out from under that?
I was 32.
Okay, so half your life.
Yeah.
And you love this country, right? You love America.
Yeah, there's not much left, right? But that is the last bastion of freedom in the world.
So when I was in Tampa last month, I met Artur Pawlowski, the Canadian pastor that was arrested for having church, and on the interstate, dragged
out of his car. Yeah, I've seen
it. And I said he called me back. I just wanted my picture made with him, but he called me back. He took me by the arm and he said to me, "The world is watching America."
Yes.
And I said, I didn't know what he meant. I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "They want to see America, what happens here now." And I said, "Do they want us to fail or succeed?" And he said, "The world wants you to succeed because they're hanging on what goes on here, and they're watching with fascination and fear."
Yes.
So, and then I just walked away. There's probably 200 people waiting to talk to him. I'm going to have him at my upcoming Patriot America event, by the way. That was a stunning thing to hear from a person that came out from under communism also. So what I want to ask you about on this segment is, and by the way, I'm getting reminded here to mention our Patriot schedule. We're going to be by the time this airs, we'll probably be heading toward Vandalia, up in Montgomery County. But we'll keep you abreast. That'll all be on the website. As you're watching the news, like we all do every day, I think about you often because I feel like, as we talked about Groundhog Day, you're watching things you've seen happen before.
Yes.
So, in your opinion, and I know you're not a politician, but you kind of were. You had to be. You were made to be in your country. What will turn us around? There's a bunch of people like me that are standing up and digging our heels in and saying, we're not doing this nonsense anymore. But are there enough of us, and what else can we do?
You're not united. The opposition to what is going on in this country is not united. Have you seen the demonstration in Paris after this moron, or whatever his name is, said he will make vaccination or the injection mandatory? Have you seen that?
Yes.
About, I think it was mid last year, right after the lockdowns came out and people were forced to wear masks everywhere, the Danish people went out and said, no, we are not doing that. Now, they are not armed, but over 2.5 million Danes took their pots and pans and standing out in front of the government building and hammering that for over 24 hours.
Okay.
So what I miss here in America is that every group, there is thousands of groups who are in opposition and doing a great work like you do with your group, but you are split it off. And this is, the first thing I learned as a youth trainer to train communist youth leaders was you have to divide your enemy. into different groups, and then you take group by group by group. As Bonhoeffer said, first they came for them, but I was not one of those. Then they came for the others. I was not one of those, and so on. And I never spoke out. And then they came for me, and there was nobody left to speak for me, right? The point is that as long as these opposition groups are all working for their small group where they are with, for that sector of the country, for you won't reach anything.
Okay.
You are not powerful enough. See, last Tuesday, I spoke at an event in Miami Valley, the Miami Valley Tea Party. And they asked me, Harald, what can we do? So, and I get this question very often. Now, I know there are people who say, yeah, we're all armed and it won't come to that. And when it comes to, we will. No, you won't.
Yeah.
Because they will not attack 100 million Americans at the same time.
Yeah. They can't put us all in jail.
No, they take one group and then the next group and then the next group and then the next group. So I always, when I get asked, I answer, how many millions voted for the Republic, for the restoring of the Republic, for make American what it once was? I'm on purpose not saying for President Trump, because he is just a person.
Right, one guy.
What it is the idea. I mean, always what fascinated me as a child when I read hundreds of books, the idea behind the American Revolution, the idea behind the founding of the United States. Can man govern itself? Do we need a king who tells us turn right now, turn left now, go straight? No. We as people are able to handle our own affairs in a decent way by not injecting our ideas or whatever into people who don't agree with us.
Right.
We can do that. But we have to be self-responsible and self-reliant.
Right.
So that's what the people voted for, these 80 million. I don't know, maybe it were 80 million. I believe everything what Biden says he got is actually what President Trump got, right? So if you take those 80 million and you say, okay, let's say half of them are not able, for what reason ever, to do anything. Old, sick, too busy, whatever. So there's left 40 million of those voters. If those 40 million all together pack up a backpack and march to Washington, all 40 million's there. You have 40 million people in and around Washington.
Right.
Sitting there until this corrupt government moves out.
Banging pots and pans, maybe.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Don't take weapons. It doesn't help.
Right.
It doesn't help.
Right.
Because 50% of your military is ready to shoot at you.
Right.
Because the American military is not what it was 20 years ago.
Right.
Obama made that possible.
Do you feel like we are turning to the, because people are every day digging in their heels, resisting the more and more, because now, as of this recording right now, we're hearing about a new variant. There's more, now they're clamping down on masks again. It's all happening just like we predicted. And meanwhile, half of us are yawning and ignoring it, and the rest are freaking out. So we're still divided as a nation.
Yes. Even, as I said, the opposition to all what is going on is divided. And when you look at an only 50% of all Americans even have taken that jab, that injection, there need to be an effort of all of the opponents of all these groups to unite into one united movement. And I know that was that idea that President Trump leads that movement and so on. No, it can't be.
We were foolish to think that one man could have done ever.
Cannot. So is it possible to found another party? I don't know. I can't tell you. Most of the time, parties are not the solution. Because as soon as you do that, you have immediately characters which will come up and for their own advantage will do whatever is necessary.
Right.
And most of the time will easily be corrupted by the powers not to be.
Would it be effective if we did it, because people won't go all the way to D.C. But if every state had people that showed up at their own capital,
The
like
minimum solution, if you have, let's say, 35,000 people surrounding the state capital in
demanding that
Columbus,
legislators do something.
no, demanding the legislators to move out, and then choose among you people those who represent you,
Right.
because that's what it was all about by the founding.
So if we vote them out, because next year, the election's next year, if we vote them out, no matter what party, parties have stopped mattering?
Yeah, it doesn't
okay,
matter.
because the corruption
They're all
is
the same.
rampant. And yeah, exactly. Yeah, I worried way more about the Republicans when I was in Columbus than I did the Democrats, and I am a Republican. So the party thing is over. So if we go in next year and literally just vote for any other person, no matter what, is that possible for us to do that? Because every state has the same issue. They're doing nothing. They're doing nothing. We have an anti-mandatory vaccination bill in Ohio right now, House Bill 248, the most perfect bill I have ever seen. And Scott Lips, our health chair, won't move it. Speaker Cupp won't move it. And the legislature is just following along, doing nothing. So do we make a blanket statement by saying, by all 99 of you, we want 99 new people, and when those people don't do what we say, we're getting 99 other people? Is that possible?
Sure, it is possible, but you have to be united. You have, as I said, you have to get 35, 40,000 people surrounding that capital, and stand there until these people are gone.
Right. And let me just stress, too, this is not about vaccination, not vaccination. It's about freedom. Whatever you want to do, the people who are vaccinated and the people who are unvaccinated, there's becoming a divide there.
They use that.
And yeah, and so if you want, my pastor says this, chicken bucket. You want to wear a chicken bucket on your head? Have at it. Just don't make me wear a chicken bucket.
Right.
So we should all unite behind this idea of total freedom. I mean, there's a lot of things I don't do, and it's none of my business. I'm not a smoker. I don't drink alcohol. I don't vape. There's a lot of things I do that could damage me physically if I or overeating, whatever. But the problem is we can't tell other people what to do. So to me, the whole idea of freedom, especially medical freedom right now with the face mask and the vaccination, has overtaken us until you literally are having to pick a side. And it's really all about total freedom to be what you were born with.
See, that is exactly what is behind the communistic idea. You are not free to choose how you want to live your life.
Right.
And they are doing that already by blaming those who are not injected,
Yes.
causing the death of those who are injected, which obviously should be safe because the injection will save them.
Right.
So somehow I don't get that, but I try to think logically, and that is not really appreciated by those people. But anyway, if you don't get that bill through, you can forget every following election.
Right.
There's no way.
I agree.
On the other hand, the people you put in power, if you take those out which have failed you dramatically, if you put people in power, you really have to control these people.
Yeah.
And in a way, you have to get immediately a bill in that their financials have to be publicly available any given time as long as they are in office.
Right.
Because they will be immediately corrupted.
Yes. Yeah.
And I remember very well a statement from a former CIA operative, leading operative. He said, "There is not one member in Congress which we cannot blackmail."
Interesting. That's a terrifying thought. It really is. It really is, because if they can't, they'll just make something up, right? And then it's not true anyway, so it doesn't matter.
You can easily build a case. I mean, just think about the latest discovery with that Pegasus software.
Mm-hmm.
They can put on your computer, on your cell phone, whatever they want.
Yeah, right. So I'm grateful. Thank you for writing this book. You must have never dreamed that you would be reliving a lot of things you saw before. No. But I think God's put you here for this time to remind us that we can We can overcome this.
We still can.
Yeah.
We still can, but we have to be united.
Right. I agree.
And please forget the idea to take up the arms or whatever.
Yeah.
It won't work.
Right.
We have much more power when we are unarmed.
So being united is more powerful.
And I still believe that your Second Amendment is the real basis
Yeah.
for that you have a first.
Yes, that's true. That is very true. So thank you so much for this time you
You're
spent
very
with
welcome.
us. I want to thank all of you for sticking with us throughout this. It's pretty intense, but we wanted to bring you this message because we thought it was important. So join us next time on Patriot Life with Candace Keller, and it's great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
So, we're one